So it's January, which means that it's new golf club launch month. Today we got the Cobra Darkspeed. So January is new golf club month, and throughout this month we're going to be bringing you as many new product launches as we can. I've already done the Ping Blueprint S-Irons, that was a couple of days ago, so if you haven't seen it, wait to the end of this video, but then go and check that one out. This is the Cobra Darkspeed driver. Now there's three versions of this driver. There is a Max, an X and an LS. Okay, so they're all relatively similar. Max being the one that's higher spinning draw bias. So if you're an individual that struggles with a fade and want to get a new driver, that might be the one for you. The X is going to be the general driver that's suitable for most golfers, and then the LS is the low spinning driver head that they brought out. Now, it's interesting with Cobra this year because with all the other manufacturers, they seem to be talking about forgiveness. So the TaylorMade QI10, the new Ping driver, they're all talking about moment of inertia and making the most forgiving golf club that they can. Cobra have gone the other way. They've gone speed. Okay, so they want to see you swinging it faster and hitting the ball further. It's interesting that they've gone separate to the other companies when the other companies are talking about forgiveness and Cobra are talking about speed. Now this particular driver, I'll bring that in there so that you can see, has got two weights. So you've got one at the back. So I'm worth saying here, I've got the X, that's what we're testing today. So looking at the driver, I really like it. A classic sort of design there as you put it down. The two weights in the sole of the sole plate of the driver are interchangeable. So at the moment this is set with a 3 gram weight at the back and a 12 gram weight slightly further forward. Now you can switch that around. If you move the weight further back, it's going to make it a little bit more forgiving, or the 12 gram weight further back and have the 3 at the front, making it more forgiving. If you do the reverse, so that 12 is at the front and the 3 at the back, makes it less forgiving, slightly lower spinning. So with the driver, and the Callaway Paradigm does something very, very similar to that. You can move it 1.5 degrees on the sleeve, so at the moment this one's a 10.5, so I could bring that down to 9 or increase it to 12 if I wanted to. Perfectly normal that, and this is with the hazardous black, hazardous black 6.0 shaft standard grip in this club. So as you put it down, it looks nice, kind of with the matte black finish. Now the only issue that I have with the club, and it's nothing, I really like the way that it looks in the you know, the classic sort of black driver. Now nothing too colourful, nothing too flashy, but from a marketing point of view, it kind of surprises me that they bring out a driver like this when you see it on TV and in your friends' bags and stuff like that, and it's not going to stand out. Being that black colourway on television, you're not going to know that specifically that's a Cobra driver that they're playing. That's the whole point in doing sort of, you know, TaylorMade bringing out a red driver or a white driver, is so that from a distance you can look and you know what somebody is playing, and then it creates a buzz if that driver is really good. If it's just all black, that's not going to stand out. It's not going to stand out on TV, and it's not going to stand out when you see it on a golf course to other golfers apart from to yourself. That said, if you put it down, it looks really nice. The matte black finish, I like it. The other features that we've got on this driver, they're talking about a power shell hot face. So it says it on there. I'm guessing that's where they think that the distance is going to come from, and also a power bridge which supports the face. I'm guessing that's kind of like what Callaway do with their gel brake technology. Obviously this is slightly different, but probably something in a similar sort of vein. Now, it's come back to the sort of colour and stuff like that. When Cobra have recently lost quite a few players, so you don't see as much with Bryson going, who's probably their biggest player, a few others. There's less people using this golf club, so therefore to have a colour that doesn't stand out does surprise me. That said, most important, we go through all the stats, we'll look at numbers and everything like that, but the most important one is cost. So this driver's going to be probably hitting the shelves at around about the 429 mark. So when you consider that You know, Callaway, Ping are going to be with the new Ping driver well over £500. Callaway being at around about £500, TaylorMade being around about £500. This driver is cheaper. So if it's cheaper and it's faster, I mean £400 is still quite expensive, but it'll be interesting to see. It's like, for me, Cobra stole the march with the F9 driver a few years ago, the yellow one. That's when I talk about colours and stuff like that. That really stood out so that you knew when people were playing it. The price point on that driver, absolutely spot on at $299. That's why you saw a lot of them. Very good driver, very good price. This at $429, a little bit more expensive, but it's still, in comparison to the other leading brands that are out there, it is cheaper. It is cheaper, so you may well see it. So I'm interested to hit a few shots. Put the club down, like finish, it feels nice. Now, you know, aerodynamically, I'm not sure that you can really add loads and loads of speed to a driver if, you know, the aerodynamics, ultimately you've got a flat face that's going to create a lot of, you know, drag in the wind. The only way that you can do it really is to shallow that down an awful lot, and then it will get through quicker, but you're not going to do that with a driver. So it's, you know, there is going to be a bit of drag there. Sits nice. So having the heavier weight slightly further forward will bring down the spin for me, which will make it slightly less forgiving driver, but will add a bit of speed, I think. So, like, interestingly there, yeah, I've hit it a little bit less, so that's going to bring the spin rate down. But then at 1800 revolutions per minute, if anything, that's quite low. And again, with that one, 2000 revolutions per minute, that's lower than what I'd probably like to see, but that doesn't really matter to me. I think that's, yeah, it's lower than I'd want. I think if I can get it to spin a little bit more, we'll get it in the air a little bit longer. See, that's an interesting one there. That wasn't a very good shot, so that's pretty much straight out the toe of the club. So you've got to lose a lot of distance there. But you expect the ball speed to be a little bit low. You expect the spin rate to drop a little bit because of that toe shot. But it's still not that bad. It's got out there, so it's relatively forgiving driver, which is a good thing. That's a nice drive there. Yeah, with that one you can feel that, I wouldn't say it's any quicker than any other driver, certainly not swing speed wise. If anything, I'm a little bit slower, but that's probably me more than the golf club. Ball speed, you know, relative to how we're swinging it, seems pretty good. It's where you want. I don't think you can add you know, loads of ball speed to a driver relative to the club speed, because then it would make it non-conforming. So there is a limit on what the manufacturers can do. I'm not 100% sure how you can claim that you're going to swing it faster, but, you know, at the end of the day, the clubs have a certain weight, they have, you know, certain parameters that they have to sit within, so you can make slight alterations to the manufacturer of the golf club to gain little bits, but you're not going to see huge speed gains because you're using this driver as opposed to something else. Yeah, I think if you're in the market for a new driver this year, this is definitely something to consider. If you don't want to spend that sort of money that Ping, Callaway, TaylorMade are going to be charging, and you want to spend a little bit less, but still get yourself a big branded driver that's going to get out there, I think that this is a really, really good option for people. Just get yourselves out there, get fitted and get trying them, and see how this compares to the other clubs. But it's definitely worth considering for if you're looking for a new driver for 2024. But while you're here, if you like the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be a lot more content relating to new product launches and gold swing tips and that coming forward for the next year. Really appreciate if you could subscribe.